how to check the fit of your dog's canicross harness. If you're new here, my name's Amy. I run Track and Trail Canine Outfitters, an independent dog shop based in Dumfries in southwest Scotland. I specialise in gear that's safe and comfortable for dogs, and I sell a pretty good range of Canisports kit. The brand that I sell here is Non-Stop Dogwear, so that's what I'm going to show you today. But if you have any questions after this video about any other specific brands, drop them in the comments and I'll be able to signpost you to somebody who can help you. In this video, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how these harnesses are designed to work and how they are designed to fit. Give you a few things you can look out for and show you how to test the fit on your own dog. We're going to look at the Non-Stop Dogwear Freemotion, and we are also going to look at the short harness, which is the Non-Stop Dogwear Rush. If you're new to canicross, you will notice that there is a huge difference between a pulling harness, an actual sled dog harness, and your everyday dog harnesses. The main differences between these types of harness and your everyday dog harnesses is that these are designed to be used under tension. So when we're checking the fit of our harness on our dog, we need to do those checks with tension in the harness. A couple of key differences between pulling harnesses and everyday harnesses. Number one is the attachment point is a lot further back. So on your normal harnesses, your attachment point can be here or maybe here. With these pulling harnesses, the attachment point is always a lot further down the dog's back. So it could be on a long harness or an X-back or something like that, right by the dog's tail here. Shorter harnesses like the Rush, which I'll show you next, it can be a little bit further along here. That's because these are designed for your dog to be running and pulling out in front of you, ahead of you. And in order to make the harness work and behave the way it needs to have a connection point a lot further back. For everyday harnesses, if your dog were to pull here, what happens is it pulls the neck up. So if you are running currently in a normal Y-shaped harness, a short everyday harness, you might notice that if your dog starts to pull quite a lot, they're rasping. That's because the harness isn't designed really to be used in that way. And when your dog pulls really hard, it pulls up on the dog's neck. With pulling harnesses, it's a little bit different. So you'll notice with your attachment point being back there, the pull is going to come down here. So rather than it coming from up here, it's going to pull the harness from here, which goes down between the dog's front legs there and down to the bottom of the neck. That means that when your dog pulls on this harness, it pulls the harness down and away from their windpipe. That is the biggest difference between a pulling harness and an everyday harness. It all comes down to mechanics at the end of the day. This can depend as well on your height and how you're attached to the dog. And it can also depend on the type of harness that you're using. But the checks I'm about to show you are pretty standard across the board. So let's work our way from front to back. So the first thing we want to look at is the neck of the harness. Now this needs to be quite snug and it's going to sit an awful lot higher than your everyday harness will. That is by design. You should be able to get a couple of fingers in here. It shouldn't be really, really tight. And it should be sitting round about, and I say round about because this is a common misconception, round about your dog's sternum. It can sit a little bit higher, it can sit a little bit lower. Entirely depends on the harness and also entirely depends on the dog. As a general rule of thumb, around and about the sternum, the thing I'd probably tell you to look out for the most when you're checking how the neck fits here is that it's not obstructing the soft part of your dog's neck. So where your dog's windpipe starts to come through, their trachea, it needs to not be obstructed by this. That's when you're going to get the rasping in the harness. So if you think that looks okay for now, that's absolutely great. The next thing we're going to do is work our way backwards. So these bars on this harness that come across the top should give your dog space on either side of their spine. Shouldn't come so far down that they're down here and they start to obstruct the dog's shoulder blade. The whole idea of pulling harnesses is that they allow the dog a full and unobstructed freedom of movement when they're running. Underneath, we want to look at where these straps are coming up. Now, this one's really important as well. It needs to be giving you enough clearance behind these front legs here so that they're not causing any rubbing. Equally, they don't want to be too far back because if they come too far back, they can start to squeeze the soft part of your dog's rib cage. So even if they're sitting right at the back of the rib cage, it probably is a little bit too big. So now let's put some pressure on this harness and let's put it under tension. What I want to look for is when I'm putting tension on this, that this neck is not coming down and obstructing the shoulder blade. What you might find is if your neck is a little bit loose, if the harness is a little bit too big, when you put it under tension, it comes down and covers the front of this shoulder blade here. These harnesses have adjustable side straps and it's important that you get these adjusted nice and snug. What you might find is when you tighten these up that the harness slides forward a little bit. Don't worry about that for now. These need to be snug because that's where the action comes from. So when we pull on this now, you can see that the tension is being taken up by these straps here. We've got plenty of room behind the dog's armpits there, and it's not coming too far back on the rib cage, so that's a nice fit. I'm going to let these out now and show you what will happen to this harness if I haven't got the sides adjusted up snug. It's baggy like that now. When I pull on this harness, you can see that it's pulling on these bars here instead of this strap, which is what it's supposed to be doing. That is going to pull onto your dog's neck, and that's when you're going to get rasping. So if you are running in a harness like this, you're pretty sure it fits, but your dog is rasping, you might want to try and just nip these up a little bit either side, increase the tension on the harness so that this attachment point can work properly. Let's tighten this up and I'll show you what I mean when a harness is a little bit too big. Okay, so exact same harness, just a different color and a size up. This, I could almost get my whole, in fact I can get my whole hand in there. I already know this neck is too big for this dog. Looking at the side straps here without tension, I can already see that these are coming down quite far down the dog's rib cage. They are getting on towards the softer part of the rib cage. That's going to cause some squeezing when we put it under tension. With your short harnesses, the principles are almost exactly the same. Short harnesses can be absolutely brilliant for shorter bodied dogs, stockier, thicker necked dogs, and maybe your nervous and reactive dogs because they can give you a little bit more control. They're great for dogs who don't pull really hard as well. So if your dog's quite a light to middleweight puller, a short harness could be great for them. Again, we want to check that the neck, we can get a couple of fingers in there, absolutely great. It's not obstructing the soft part of the dog's windpipe, perfect. And we've got enough room behind these front legs here. And we can adjust the sides so that when the dog pulls on this, the tension is being taken up by these straps and not these ones, which means it's pulling away from the dog's neck and it's not going onto the softer part of the rib cage there. On this guy, I'm going to show you one that's a little bit too small. Again, same harness, just a different color. So we can already see here, before we start putting our hands in and checking the fit, how close that strap is sitting to the dog's front leg there. That's way too close. That's going to cause some rubbing. It's going to cause a lot of discomfort. So when I put this under tension, it's working as it should. It's taking the tension on the strap, but it is sitting way too close to the dog's armpits. If you have the option, is to go and find your local canicross club. Most canicross clubs have kit bags. Those are big bags full of loads of different kinds of leads, harnesses, belts, bungees, that kind of stuff that you can try on, and there will be people in the club who can help to get you fitted. If you don't have a canicross club near you, then hopefully this video has helped you out a little bit.